Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? I hope everyone is very well. I hope everyone is enjoying the virtual Jedi classes, and I hope everyone's been having a wonderful time throughout this occasion. I hope the force is with you all and everyone is well, safe, and just generally, having a nice time. So my topic is going to be about the importance of balance. Now, I'm not going to do this through any PowerPoints. I'm just going to talk with you guys and just kind of do this little video because I feel like that the lessons I want to teach within this little class is going to come more naturally from the voice than I will just yapping at you with information from a PowerPoint. Now, one of the big things is, what is balance? Balance could be anything, Essentially, what I'm looking at and what we're discussing today is the balance that we should aim to keep in our daily lives. So, like this little wooden thing, you need to find balance or else it will become too much. Now, as Jedi, we aim to do a lot in society. And we work, we have our lives, we're quite normal people. And again, we look at helping others and going out of our way to do something good, helpful. We go out of our way to try and be a benefit to society. Now, the important thing here is it's understanding that you should never overreach yourself, and at the same time, you should help where possible. Now, for each person, this is going to change, and ultimately, we're not all the same in this aspect, because person A might be able to do something more helpful than person B. Now, this might be a bit disheartening, but it's important to recognize what you can do as helpful is still very valid. And at the end of the day, your helpful deed will never not be important, but sometimes there are times where we cannot help, and that's okay. It's about stepping away and passing it to someone who can help deal with, say, a situation. So it's finding that balance of, as a Jedi, you can do this deed, whilst I may not be able to do all the deeds I'd like to do, I can do these things and these are good enough. And at the same time, so when you step away from that, you should also then focus on your own personal life, your social life, your health, your mental health. Again, stuff like that, that's what's important about balance. As it says in the Jedi Code, there is no chaos, there is harmony. Now, to gain harmony, it's very debatable of how you actually achieve harmony, but one way that will help living a harmonious life is by having that good lifestyle, routine, and pattern and cycle. You want to balance out your life so that you've got a handful of work, handful of social life. And when I talk about social life, I'm talking about fun things you like, time alone, time with friends, maybe a routine which is good for you, maybe a good deed, and then work, your work itself, thoughts about work, any workloads you may have outside, maybe studying, stuff like that. And it's about finding that balance. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics for the balance of how you can fully do it yourself, because everyone is different, and I can never fully analyze every single person because they're so different. Instead, my advice or guidance for this is going to be, you should look at yourself. You should analyze where you're spending too much time on, how you can cut that down, how you can do it healthily, which is, can always be a struggle. I work in hospitality and I fully understand that you can't just get a lighter workload, but it's about recognizing the times where you can relax a bit more in your work. I remember people going, "Oh, it's very quiet, it's very boring." Well, no, you should use those opportunities to get tasks done that you want to. Maybe learn something. Speak to your boss. Learn more about your job role. Learn more about a senior job role, and so on. Gain experience, gain knowledge. Maybe clean. Maybe relax. Maybe socialize with your work colleagues, and that's it. If you spend your life waking up every single day just going straight to work, getting that phone call, coming in early, constantly doing more hours than realistically what you should be doing or what's healthy, and to the point where it's disturbing your patterns, your sleep patterns, your eating, then you need to question it and you need to make a choice to whether or not you're actually living a healthy, balanced life or if you're in a bad routine. And that's very important. And again, with your social life, now, I can never fully say this without it sounding bad, but having too much fun, what I mean more about that is, are you drinking too much? Are you spending too much time procrastinating? Which everyone does, but it's not a bad thing necessarily, but it can be harmful at times when it's affecting your work life, or if it's affecting your other social life. Your hobbies. Are you spending enough time in your hobbies? Things that people actually enjoy. There's a whole range of why people procrastinate, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it could just be how they are. Sometimes it could be depression. Sometimes it could just be the cycle they're in. And again, you, as a Jedi, and it's very important I bring this up. So in the Jedi Compass, if you look at the core ethics, and just on the next page from the core ethics, we have self-awareness. A Jedi works to become aware of their emotions and things which make them tick. They learn of their flaws and strengths, seeking to reconcile a life with those flaws which they cannot change, and the strengths they have been blessed with. In this, Jedi must be constantly looking inwards for the motivations, their directions, what moves them, and why they allow it to do so. Again, exterior is important for that a Jedi be aware of the person they present to those around them and how it will affect the dynamic of the groups they find themselves in. How one's presence is received will determine whether or not the next steps will be met with hostility or acceptance. Again, it's about taking responsibility for your own actions, taking responsibility for your choices, for the lifestyle you live. Now, whilst things may be hard and it may be understandable to why we live our life a certain way, we also have to be open to the idea that sometimes it is up to us, only us, to change, because if we don't make those changes, nothing ever will change. And doing so, hopefully you'll find a positive change, because to live a positive lifestyle, one must do the actions, one must be willing to take action for themselves and be living the lifestyle that they want to by doing it. And you live a lifestyle you want to live by choosing the required actions to live that lifestyle, to wear what you want to, speak to people how you want to, kind of act how you want to. And again, you should, as Jedi, we should aim to live a positive, kind life, where I think it's, even if you're just a positive influence to other people, or you're just someone who's always humble or very lovable, that's great, because I spend my time with my friends, and it's always great when they see me. They're like, "Oh, hey, it's great to see you." That's the things you should aim for. And again, it's back and bringing this realistically. If I go back and looking at balance, it's I'm spending time with my friends, but I'm also spending time at work, and it's finding that time to do both in a healthy way. Again, time is a very interesting concept, I've stayed up with friends till 4 a.m. and then done 5 hours sleep, which isn't great. It's 5 hours sleep, but I've had fun with that. And it's again doing what you can and pushing your body to the limit in a healthy way so that you grow. Because we do need to push our body, we need to push our bodies, but we should experiment. We should do it healthily, and we should do it in a positive way. So again, like running, if you do fitness and go, oh, I want to run a 5K. What can I do? I'm not good at running. Cool. I can start walking, and then from walking I can go into running a little bit, and then maybe do 2K. Keep practicing that. Build up a bit more. And then just go a bit over 2K. Okay, let's try 5K, and then that's it. It's essentially that's what look at an example like that. Apply that kind of methodology to other things. And again, finding balance is sometimes standing up for yourself and saying, no, this is either too much, or I don't. Sometimes it could be the other way. Sometimes you're not satisfied with what you're doing, and maybe you're not satisfied with the actions you're taking, and you're not satisfied with your work. Again, it's about challenging your superiors in a positive way so that they see that the potential you can do more, and that it's even stepping up at times. And that's it. I think realistically, it's very hard to say for certain what balance. I think balance is generally just a very tricky thing that we juggle every single day, but as Jedi we find it harder because we are juggling so much. And again, it's being mindful, it's being helpful, are we working on ourselves enough? Are we doing stuff for other people? And it's trying to find that balance of don't burn yourself out whilst doing these things, but at the same time, make sure you are actively positively taking an active role in your community around you. Again, maybe your community online, and that's it. It's about making sure that you push yourself to go where you want to be. And so that's why things like reading, let's say J Compass. It's a good tool to help yourself. It's a good thing to get a better understanding of things. And realistically, that's where I'm going with this. Is if you understand balance better, and you understand the balance in your life and how it's affected, then essentially, sorry, I have to tell what this. Essentially, you'll find that no matter how much things get put on to that weight, to almost the balance itself, if you even it out, then it'll be fine. It's like good and evil. There'll always be evil in the world, but there could potentially be more good in the world, and it's essentially down to your actions and how you affect and what you choose to do and how you choose to live your life in conjunction with other people. Now, I'm not saying you should go to live your life specifically in a very specific manner, but again, it's up to you how you want to live it. But just know that how you live your life could affect others around you, as being mindful of that. And again, it's one of the reasons we should be focusing on balancing things out, because if I'm burnt out because I haven't balanced things out properly, and I've become very, say, frustrated, annoyed at work, tired, grumpy, well, then that affects the mood of other people. Now, you don't want to think about the fact that you might have just brought the mood down, but at the same time, you don't want to be in a bad mood. So don't get yourself to the point where you're putting yourself in these positions. Again, being a Jedi is hard because doing what is right for you is not always easy. Again, doing the right thing in general isn't always easy, and at times people will try and question you because they don't want to think about whether or not they're doing the right thing. but it's about being firm and putting your foot down and go, well, no, this is wrong, and that's it. So overall, when we think back, let's think back to what we've discussed. Focus on what you're doing in your life. Don't burn yourself out. Make sure that you are spending a relevant and appropriate amount of time doing activities. And again, if you want to spend all day playing, gaming up from day, that's cool. You do that. You enjoy that time. But again, throughout the week, make sure you balanced it out with other things, like maybe with reading, maybe some fitness, maybe some work, and that's it. It's about finding, as a Jedi, we meditate on the Force. Again, look on the Force, trust in the Force, feel the Force flow through you, feel it, use it to help gauge, your life, your lifestyle. Again, things like practicing meditation. It's good to practice these things because they could be beneficial. They could be helpful. You may find the Force communicating something to you. And that's it. And a balanced lifestyle will only lead to positive things. I can say that because I've lived that kind of lifestyle before, where I was waking up at a good time, I was working, I was socializing, I was doing stuff, I was having fun, I was having meals and set times, or roughly, I was eating appropriately, and that's it. I was doing fitness, and everything was so balanced, and that's it. It's, understanding that if you live a balanced lifestyle and you work hard, and you don't overwork yourself, and you have fun, that's great. But honestly, do what's best for you. Look after yourselves. Again, I hope the rest of these virtual classes are helpful. If you guys do have any questions, please do not hesitate to get in touch. I'm sure that I will pass on my details to the organizers so that any questions I do have, I can respond. I hope this has been helpful. And just a general talk about the fact that balance is important, and it's important because we are human, and to fail, to grow, to learn, to love, to live, to feel is only human. May the Force be with you all. May you all look after yourselves. And again, focus on your needs and then focus on the needs of others. May the Force be with you all.